Oh, good questions, good questions. All right, guys, it's time to stealth it up with Volume.
I tried to warn you. You act out your clean little actions in the volume, rebalancing my grand design, but you inspire messy people, Loxley. People who get caught, people who take weapons into my friends' homes. Shut it down. Run.
Volume is a top-down stylish game set in the future where one man fights an evil corporation using the power of live-streaming video games.
This has been developed by Mike Bithell, who created the excellent platformer all about a bunch of misfit quadrangles. Thomas Was Alone.
Thomas was alone. Wow. A weird first thought to have.
Volume, however, is all about sneaking past guards undetected. In each level, you'll simply have to collect all the diamonds without being caught, then walk into the exit. Level complete.
To sneak past guards, you have a bunch of classic stealth tools at your disposal, such as whistling or using parts of the environment to create distractions.
Is there someone out there?
There are bright cones of vision and obvious patrol paths too, so it's generally pretty easy to see where to go and what to do.
Yeah, I think some may find this game too easy because it's never that hard to work out what to do and the checkpoints are super generous.
Well, I don't know, I think there's still a decent level of challenge. I mean, even though it's easy to see what needs to be done, it can still take a few goes to actually pull it off. And things do get increasingly complicated.
Affirmative. Every few levels, there's a new gameplay element to consider, from new guard types to gadgets and environmental hazards, which helps to keep you engaged.
Some gadgets feel pretty overpowered though, especially since guards are quite predictable and can be easily outsmarted.
Yeah, they're pretty easy to sneak away from, but distracting them from their paths and then hiding is actually part of your arsenal. And I liked how sometimes things will go horribly wrong, but somehow you manage to twist and turn those disasters into some cobbled together success.
What about that music that plays when you get spotted, Hex? Oh, I did not like it. It's just too epic.
Really? No, I like it. It stresses you out. In fact, the whole soundtrack in general I thought was great.
Well, fair enough. Most levels only take a couple of minutes to complete, but there's an emphasis on being as fast and efficient as possible to beat the par time.
You'll still unlock the next level if you go over part-time, however. And while the levels are short, there are 100 of them in the main campaign, so there's quite a few hours of gameplay. Oh, and there's an easy-to-use level creator too, and budding level designers will find it easy to create their own tricky levels.
One thing I really liked is that you can actually play user-created levels instead of the main campaign missions, and it still counts towards progress in the story. And they weave the story into those levels too, which is ingenious.
Identity obstruction mask activated.
Hex, what did you think of the actual story?
Well, this is a futuristic retelling of the classic Robin Hood story about stealing from the rich and giving to the poor.
Hi, Rob. Alan.
It's the year 2050 and you play as Rob, who's fighting back against an oppressive corporation using Alan, a type of AI known as a volume.
I found it all a bit confusing. Is he stealing from real people? Is he just playing a game? I just don't know. Also, I was pretty focused on just stealing gems and I wasn't really paying attention most of the time.
Well, paying attention is usually the best way to understand a story, Bajo.
Well, Darren, if you're going to tell me a story through voiceover and get me to steal gems at the same time, I can only do one of them at once.
Well, I thought the story was pretty good. And I was glad to hear Sean Wallace, the narrator from Thomas Was Alone, return to voice the AI.
Not actually 100% sure your solution is optimal, but proud.
But let's wrap this up. What are you going to give it, Bajo?
Well, there's some great ideas here, and I did enjoy playing this. I think it's worth 2.5 rubber chickens out of 5.
I was always so keen to jump into the next level. It's stylish, bite-sized stealth with an interesting take on user-generated content, so I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.